Let's look at how we can manage design changes in SOLIDWORKS PDM Standard. We have this assembly drawing open inside of SOLIDWORKS, and you'll notice that the file is read-only, as we don't have write access to this file until we check the file out. These checkout permissions are governed by the workflow state that the file is in. We can see that this is a work in progress, so we're also allowed to check out the drawing and the assembly file as well. Let's say we've had a design review, and this is the component that we want to change out for another one. With these files open, we'll go ahead and swap out this component. When we use the replace command inside of SOLIDWORKS, we have access to the file vault view, and we can access the search commands. So by running a search, we can then specify the name of the component that we're trying to find, run the search, and select that component to insert it into the design. We also have the ability here to preview the component before we open it up inside of SOLIDWORKS. We've got the full preview, so we can look at the component to insert here. This is the component that we want to swap out the clip for that we have open inside of SOLIDWORKS. So let's go ahead and open that component. We're not going to check out the file because we're opening the file for reference only, and we can go ahead and commit those changes in this design. If we then go back to the drawing file, we may want to add in an additional view, but as soon as we save this, SOLIDWORKS alerts us and gives us some feedback on the right hand side. It tells us that the drawing and the assembly files have been modified, and it also tells us who's modified this file. We'll check these two files in now, adding in a comment there to help build up the audit trail for this design. And once we check the file in, the status of the file changes to read only, because we no longer have the file checked out. In the SOLIDWORKS task pane on the right hand side, we get visual feedback of the status of these files, and that's equal to what other users can see in PDM, and whether they're newer or whether they're older. From within this task pane, we can also go and have a look at earlier versions of a design. Using the get version command, we can specify that we want to look at revision A, and load revision A of the drawing file as it was built. It will then retrieve all of the references, so PDM will know exactly which version of each component was in use when it was checked into PDM. We can see here that we've got red warnings just to denote that we're looking at out-of-date files. So when you're working in that collaborative environment, any changes that are made to components that you're working on collaboratively will give you feedback straight away, as soon as somebody has made those changes. And if a colleague has made a change to a component, and you want to then get that change, we can simply right-click on each of these components and click Get Latest Version. That will enable us to go and retrieve the changes that have been made to those files in the PDM system they're using. The Get Version command enables us to go and get any version of any design with ease. We can then use the Get Latest command, and that will retrieve the assembly and drawing file with the latest references. If we take a look in our local vault view at this assembly and drawing file, we can view the bill of materials, but we don't necessarily know what's changed between each of the versions that we've generated. So rather than select through each of the versions manually, we have the ability to compare the bill of materials. So we can compare version 4 with version 5, and we can see quickly and with ease what components have been added or deleted within them. So PDM helps facilitate this collaborative working environment by allowing users to get newer files that have been checked into PDM, but it also allows us to manage change to components with relative ease, so we don't have to remember or start copying files into different locations.